This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Something that's written here by Michael Katz from Multi-Channel News. He's talking about just the pay-per-view industry as a whole and how it's broken down revenue-wise. Here's a quote. The top 10 pay-per-view events in 1996 ranked by revenue and buy rates are all boxing and wrestling events. In 96, boxing accounted for 56.7% of gross revenue generated by pay-per-view events. Wrestling did 35.2%. Other combat sports, aka mixed martial arts, got 6.4%, and other sports got 0.5%. Concerts and music total just 1.2%. And they're basically saying for 1997, that's going to continue because of the emergence of Oscar De La Hoya, the presence of Mike Tyson, and of course, monthly WCW and WWF events. But the idea that literally 35.2% of every pay-per-view dollar in 1996 had wrestling attached to it tells you where wrestling is. It's on the rise, dude.
It was. And it was, that number in boxing, not even close to that anymore, but you had Tyson, you had Oscar, you had everybody on the rise, and it was flourishing. Everybody wanted to see. You minded, but at the same time, you knew what you were paying for when you plopped down $50, which was a lot of money for a pay-per-view to see Mike Tyson knock somebody out in 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that was the joke back then for sure, that, you paid a whole bunch of money, and if you blinked, like if you went to make a sandwich, you went to the bathroom and you came back, it was over. Yeah.
If you go out and check your barbecue, we had the pay-per-view party at my house, and JR and I are out on the grill, and we're barbecuing, doing shit and everything. And we literally walked outside to get shit off of the grill and came back in. What the fuck? I'm like, what happened? Well, they were doing introductions when we went out. I mean, what the fuck happened? And yeah, it was all that good shit. Well, goddamn, Brucey. And then you didn't have DVRs then. So it was like, okay, well, I got to roll the tape back and watch it, but you got to wait till the show's over now. And you watch the replay 14 times, so they got to make up some time. And I was like, well, I guess we don't have to roll anything back. It was like, yeah, it's just kind of there.
The World Wrestling Federation finished its 1996 pay-per-view schedule with a solid but unspectacular event on December 15th from West Palm Beach called It's Time. The booking for the show was clearly thought out, as the matches that on paper didn't look good were given enough outside distractions to at least attempt to overcome the obstacles. The show was largely well received, although it should be noted that there was a far lighter response for this show that we received, and that doesn't bode well for the buy rate. Even with Bret Hart challenging for the title in a scenario in which a solid percentage of the public should have figured as a title change, nobody figured between the time of year and the already intense hype for Royal Rumble as the next big show that this was going to be anything but a throwaway show. That's sort of a trap that you fall into when you've got these big major events, right? Like Survivor Series and MSG, and now the Royal Rumble in a freaking dome. This is sort of the more skippable pay-per-view, but still profitable, right?
Yeah. And I think that with the right attraction that, it all comes down to, well, shit, man, guess what? Not as many people wanted to watch that one.
Wade would also say that Paul Heyman addressed several key issues regarding ECW's future as ECW approached a confirmation for a March 30th date on pay-per-view. Regarding the working relationship with the WWF, he says he sees it as two people who are under the gun from Ted Turner, who realize there's a very powerful media conglomerate backing a rival organization that could drive them out of business. Heyman says there's nothing more to the relationship than meets the eye, and he does not have the desire to work for the WWF or have ECW officially work with the WWF on a larger level. Is that pretty much the stone cold truth, or was he always angling for a little more?
I think he was always angling for money.
Yeah.
I think he was looking. I mean, you know, he was looking for some way to pay the bills.
Well, nothing wrong with that, I suppose.
No, I mean, you know, there's really not. And again, in our business and what we do, just by definition, a lot of times it is you're telling stories, and that doesn't fit Paul's narrative for ECW to be working with the big boys.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.